So we've taken a quality loan application, okay? We've gotten the contract. We've taken that file. And some of this, I'm going to do it in 1 minute, but I do this. This is what I'm doing with the client when I'm meeting with the client initially to have some of this conversation. I'm going to sum it up quickly so that we can get into some Q&A. So I'm talking to the client. I'm discussing those things. If you haven't got our form that's called a do's and don'ts list, one of the first things when I pre-approve a client, the first thing I email to them is a do's and don'ts. You know, do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's some of the things you're supposed to do during the loan process. Don't put cash money in your account. Don't move a lot of things. Don't move a lot of money around. Don't get your credit pulled 100 times. Don't get your teeth cleaned. I don't know. There's so many things now. I can't even keep up with it.
It's mainly don'ts.
Yeah, it's mainly don'ts.
Just don't.
It's mainly please don't do anything until we get this loan closed. And obviously a lot of you guys are here and you've heard this before. You're great realtors. Most of you are doing that. So then we take that file and for us it's a pre-processing of the file. We're going through the file, making sure we have everything we want. We run something called a desktop underwriter. Has anyone heard of something called DU? Have you ever heard, realtors? Have you heard of that? Do you guys know what that is? I think we should know. Jim, will you tell us what a desktop underwriter is and how that coordinates with what you do?
It's what we would term an automated underwriting system. And it's computer driven. It has an engine that somebody has programmed certain elements and key characteristics of what they're looking for in a particular loan. And it filters all the different factors that are involved, including their credit, income, how long they've been in a particular employment or income source, how much cash they have, what is the difference in monthly payments versus where they're renting or owning now versus what they're getting ready to take on. And it spits out a decision that's in what you're looking for, which is an approval.
Amen. Yeah, so basically we're taking all that data, we're analyzing, we're putting it through this automated engine right on our computer to make sure that our underwriter, number one, if it's approved, our underwriter wants to work off that and kind of validate what we've provided to that machine is good. A good loan officer does it good. When do things go bad? When that supposedly good loan officer didn't put it together well. And then so from there, we take the loan. We get the appraisal order. Like she said, we were talking about setup. So we order out your appraisal. We order out your title. We get all of those things together on your file, okay? And then once we have why do we want to get the appraisal back? A lot of companies, a lot of people that are in the business, they're like, why do you need to get the appraisal done first? Well, I want to make sure that we're not going to have an issue with appraisal before we go through all the work, right? So let's spend the first 7 to 10, and you're wondering, let's spend the first 7 to 10 days once we've taken that initial application and you guys have put them under contract. Let's spend that time because it takes about that long in this market right now to get that appraisal back. So prep that to your client. Hey, it's going to take us 7 to 10 days. And what happens then? Well, we get the appraisal back. We make sure that the appraisal looks good. I want to make sure it looks, or Mike and Daisy, they want to make sure that appraisal looks halfway good before it gets to our underwriting team, right? If there's things that need to be met on that, and we'll come back to that. I'm sure there's some questions about appraisals that you guys might have. I would love to dive into that some because I know Jim can talk extensively about that. So from there, we take that file. We've taken all those disclosures, all of those financials, the W-2s, the pay stubs, the tax returns. She said something super important. She said right in the beginning, we order out tax transcripts through the IRS. What does that mean? Why do we do that? We have to make sure that those tax transcripts through the IRS match our tax return. If something that I've noticed that we struggle with more and more, CPAs aren't perfect. They make mistakes. And if those transcripts does not match that tax return, sometimes we're back to the drawing board. Maybe there was a business or something that wasn't put on that return that should have been, and the tax transcript's called. I don't know. I could go on and on about the nuances I've seen and next thing you know, Mike's in the office saying, man, the transcript doesn't match the return. And, we're dealing with that. So there's a lot of pieces there that we're diving into. So hopefully, once we've gotten through that 7 to 10 day process, hopefully your loan officer has reached out to you, said, hey, things look good. We're going to go ahead and put the file into underwriting. We stick that file in underwriting. Our underwriting team always runs 48, 72 hours tops, which is fantastic. We're great at that's just good, Hopefully, we're hoping for a conditional approval. It's very rare that the file goes into underwriting and it comes out. It doesn't come out approved with no conditions. 99 times out of 100, there is conditions left to be met on that file, okay? So if you're wondering, well, why isn't it clear to close? The underwriter looked at it. It's because they want, like you said, then they're reanalyzing the data. They're looking at the data that we provided, and some of that data, they want it to match up with some of the things that they need. And so then we got this conditional approval. We're going back to the borrower. Maybe we're going to you. Maybe we need something changed on the contract. Maybe there was an initial miss or something like that. Maybe we need clarification on something down in the additional comment section. None of us are perfect. You know, we're putting contracts together all the time, and they're not always perfect. So we're getting some corrections there. Short sale addendums. A lot of times we miss short sale addendums. We ask for them all the time. On FHA deals, you remember that? What's that thing? A mandatory clause, right? Everyone's got to sign that. Sometimes it's hard to get the listing agent. Hey, listing agent, I need you to sign this, you know? So it's coming from us, so you're getting those things. Then hopefully we've gathered that last batch of conditions. I know our underwriting team, they want a two-touch file, right? They want to touch it one time, condition it. Hopefully it comes out, and hopefully there's only 2 pages of conditions, right, Mike? And then we from that moment we put it back into underwriting, and within 24 hours, voila! Hopefully we have a clear to close. Okay, that's the goal there. What happens from there? We take that package, we bundle it up. How I'm telling you this is exactly how we tell the customers. We move that over to the closing department. And I think all of the people that work on our closing department drink Monster and Red Bull all day. They always are working. They're always there. And they're blowing those packages out to the title company same day, almost all the time, which is incredibly rare in this business to have a closing team that does that. If you have a closing and you're up, so a lot of times people come to us, a lot of times people use it because we're fast. If people say, what are one of the things that make you guys good? I tell people we're very fast. We move quickly. We move promptly throughout the process. The big part of the reason of that, we cut off 2 to 3 days because of our closing department blows out packages same day. So a 30-day process, I'm trimming it down to 21, 19 days. 7 days from application to underwriting approval is insanely fast. So we're taking that package to the title company, and they're working up the final HUD, and we're calling the client, and boom, we're closing.